Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this podcast on GCC with the theme Ledgers to Global Leadership. And we have with us Samir Madan ji, who is also a chartered accountant and a tech advisor. कौन कहता है कि हम मुनीम जी है? अब हम टेक्नोलॉजी में बात करते हैं, हम एडवाइजरी में बात करते हैं, हम स्ट्रैटेजी में बात करते हैं एंड हम आज सपना देख रहे हैं पूरे वर्ल्ड में हमारी लीडरशिप लाने की. So, welcome Samir ji to this podcast show. If you have any opening remarks, please say. Otherwise, I'll jump on to the questions.
Well, thank you for having me. And as you rightly said, that we CAs have the ability to kind of not just be the Muneem ji, that's the base, and every building is built on a strong base. But then, from a Muneem ji to become the future architect, use the numbers of the past to predict the future. That's where we add value using technology.
Great. So that's a thought process for which we are trying to reach out to all our membership, chartered accountants and students to say that yes, we are here to grow together, collaborate together. पहला सवाल आपसे जो हमारे ये thought process दो एंगल हमारे. One is our membership and our students. What is that is important today to bring that shift into our membership to make sure that yes, we are and we will transform from ledgers to global leadership?
So I will answer this question into two buckets. The first is that we are very good in terms of the nuts and bolts of accounting, understanding how the flows happen. But now in a globalized world, how do we integrate our economy into the world economy? How to make sure that we understand the geopolitical linkages. For example, now, a lot of American companies are having big operations in India. Are they bothered about revenue in INR or revenue in USD? How do I do hedging? How do I make sure that I am naturally hedged? Do I pay dividend every quarter so that the volatility in the foreign exchange is mitigated naturally? So those are aspects which we need to become a business advisor to global MNC headquarters. And for our Indian companies also to tell them, because they are expanding, they are setting up shops everywhere else in the world, to tell them to be prepared as to what they should expect.
Wow.
So that's the interlinkage of the Indian economy with the global economy, using all the beautiful stuff which we learned during our curriculum. Second bucket, which I will break it in terms of the answer to your question, is technology. Now IT and finance are two sides of the same coin. So you have to learn
Integrate
the IT apps and design them. What is missing is that the guys who are designing, let's say, the world's best app to take hedges for your intercompany balances, they don't even know what hedges are. So have yourself be part of IT firms or your own capability centers within your company to design those apps, to give them the business knowledge as to how that will impact the top line, the bottom line, and the cash flow.
Excellent. So I think what I've taken up from here is create that technological capabilities.
Bent of mind.
Create that technology bent of mind, acquire that relevant skills and learn those tools to make sure that yes, you are competent, you are capable and you can scale up. One more thing, when we talk about GCCs, it shows what a wonderful picture. Like we talk about 1600 to 1800 GCCs in our country. We talk about going into tier 2, tier 3 cities. और एक तरफ हम capability और scalability की बात कर रहे हैं. Now, when we go into those tier 2, tier 3 cities, especially like I'm more focusing upon our accounting firm, the thought process, like how are we going to take them to that level? वो बोलेंगे सर हम कैसे GCC बने? How are they like? It's not about everyone, but अगर कोई करना भी चाहे तो what's that first step they are going to take to get to that level? अगर हम इंडिया में हमारी टारगेट अगर हम 200-500 भी जीसीसी क्रिएट कर पाए नेक्स्ट 1 ईयर, आई थिंक वी हैव अचीव्ड आवर गोल्स. सो ये हम शुरुआत कैसे करें एज एन अकाउंटिंग फर्म?
सो आई थिंक first of all, you should be aware as to how the demand and supply of accountants are all over the world. That will give you confidence that there is more demand than supply. So that's the first stage. It's like normal business. आप इसको ये देखिए कि आप धंधा सेटअप कर रहे हो. When you are setting up any shop, you look at the market. So the market clearly tells you that there is a shortage in the US, which is the biggest market. The existing CPAs are getting old. There are
No succession
listed
planning.
companies which are delaying results due to lack of accountants.
Yes.
I don't know how many people know this.
Yes.
So listed companies delaying their announcement results because there is no accountant available. So first, get comfortable that there is enough demand. Second, you've done your CA, you understood basics of accounting, but understand the differences between the gap which we use versus the US gap, the UK gap, IFRS, and the local nuances. Most of us don't spend time to build that capability, because when you go and sell, they will ask you. And you don't have to be a US qualified CPA. I've done both. I'm a India CA from 94 and a US CPA 95. And of course, the US CPA is a cake. The difference is the taxation. That
Yes.
one paper was difficult to crack. So get your knowledge about that, train your potential employees. That's my number 2 suggestion. Third, work on your communication skills. See, your ability to communicate is critical, not only one for selling, ये तो धंधा कहाँ से लाओगे, but even after you've sold and you got the contract, kind of relay back the results, especially the insights, the improvement areas, all that you need to have a good command over the language.
Very good.
And dare I say, so I spent 1 year in Japan, late 90s. Mein. And the Japanese were very bad in their communication from an English perspective. And one of the guy who came to teach English to the Japanese, this was from talking about Coopers and Lybrand, he said that with 250 words of English, you can survive. So people in India confuse command over the English language with the number of words you know. No, that's not what Americans or the Britishers are looking. Just use the 250 words in the right context. So emphasize that just 250 words are enough, master them. You don't have to use fancy words.
So, getting the cue from what you just said, the knowledge, the skill, the competence matters. But then the question comes is of the size. Now, how do we, balance both? At one aspect we say, all right, how many team you have, what's the certifications you have, what kind of security standards you know. So those also become a very important factor. Do you have a maker-checker concept? Do you have all those certification firewalls in place? Do you have all those security standards in place? So knowledge is one aspect. Size, how much size matters? So when we compare between a boutique firm and a size, what prevails more?
So that's a very interesting question, and there is no single answer to it. So my way of addressing this is, first of all, if you're wanting to set up your own firm, big or small, go spend a year or two in a firm which is already doing the work. Learn the nuances. What kind of certifications are essential? What are good to have? Then come back and kind of try and partner with a small firm, expand it. Anything less than 50 FTEs will be very difficult to survive.
That's a very good answer. So I think that's a benchmark, that if you have at least 50 FTEs working in your organization, from that you have to take it to the next level.
Correct. 50 is the bare minimum, because there is attrition. When you're beginning, you have to put in more number of FTEs because you want to be successful. So initially, even for a routine or a mundane work, you will put in a semi-qualified or maybe even a qualified accountant. So you have to start with 50. Maybe the need actually was 35, but you have to put in some extra on the bench. But then as and when you pick up scale, then you can ramp up really fast. But yeah, know what the market wants, and for that work with relatively a bigger firm as an employee,
Yes,
and
yes.
learn the tricks of the trade.
So the SOPs becomes very important.
Yes.
I think. So just the concluding remarks, because I want to make it very, very short and very, very to the point. GCC, India, ICI, and membership. How do you chain them into a single knot?
So I think it's a natural chain. I think the institute has done tremendous work in terms of training, upskilling. They should probably have a certification course for GCCs. Also maybe have a certification course right from college. they're not qualified chartered accountant, but yeah, they can have a diploma course, certified GCC accounting professional. Because remember, GCCs don't need only qualified accountants, they need non-qualified as well. So that's one area which the institute can do. And thirdly, I would say that, I don't know, there must be at least 25, 30,000 chartered accountants like me who are working in GCCs. Form a body, have regular meetings, talk to them what were their problems, how can the institute address it, what are their learnings, what are new courses, are there areas where we can come up with certification courses. So they will
Great.
give you great insights.
Yes. So just to update you, sir, being a convener of this group, we are coming up with a maturity model. So a GCC maturity model where we are going to leverage a firm to check all those 100 questions.
Wonderful.
Do you meet that? Do you meet that? And then if they say no to it, we give them answers. How you
Get
can
there.
achieve that?
How do you get
We
there?
also come up with certificate courses. And the last part which you just said, we have this business accounting associate. Those who are interqualified but couldn't clear their CA, we are coming with a certification course for them so that they can be GCC ready.
Wonderful.
So we are coming up with a GCC ready. So all this work this GCC group is going to do. So this is the first step to create that awareness, to create and bring those ecosystem like people like you to come together as chartered accountants, say yes, we want to contribute, we want to come forward, and we want to make India and ICI proud about our profession and about the entire world. So thank you so much for being with us. One last piece of advice from you for our chartered accountant members before we end up this session.
Well, folks, I think GCC is the future, which is not going to end very soon. It's just the beginning. And remember, GCC one day could become such big listed companies in India. It will put some of the IT companies also look like small companies. So make sure that you learn the nuances of how accounting and the economies of global economies work. I mean, that's something which you need to kind of really, really work on.
Great, thank you. That was very motivating. That was very insightful. Thank you, Samir ji, for a wonderful deliberation, and we look forward to connect.